or this New Yorker who likes the Boston sports teams. He produced the single biggest points total in the history of the main event challenge.
Dang.
14 points. He went 8-0 on his picks. He whacked 3 underdogs. Diego Sanchez, Pedro Munoz, Kamaru Usman. Ken Flo hit 4 times. You hit on Diego Sanchez, but Team Anik wins the week 14-6.
Ooh,
32-24 going to the UFC
Jesus.
Wichita. Ken Flo knows a thing or two about a comeback, though. With us to make picks today, I think we've got another New Yorker from that 516. Evan Wasserman is with us. Evan, how are you, man?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
We're doing well. Thanks for your patience. Are you a New Yorker?
I am a New Yorker, but I live in Hollywood, Florida now.
Hollywood, Florida. We should have had you in studio in Boca Raton. I'm not far from you. All right, so we've got 5 selections today on this UFC Wichita card. Let's start in the lightweight division. Beneil Dariush minus 180, Drew Dober plus 150. Evan, don't look now, but Drew Dober's won 5 of 6. He's the underdog here against Beneil Dariush. What do you think?
I'm leaning towards Dariush. I think his last fight, he got caught by Hernandez. But the fight before that, he was going back towards his grappling and jiu-jitsu. And I think he's going to stick with that. I think the Hernandez loss was kind of a fluke. He kind of was thrown off by Hernandez charging him with his hands out, and then he got caught quickly. I think Dariush is going to get back in the win column this week.
That's good analysis. Ken Flo. Dariush has fought the tougher schedule. Dober's never had more UFC momentum than he does right now. Any thoughts on this one at 55?
Yeah, listen, I think Drew Dober is a tough guy. I just don't see him having enough skill to really hurt Beneil on the feet. I think he can give him some trouble maybe in the wrestling department if Benny's trying to take the fight to the mat. But I think Benny can still take Dober down. And from there, I think he would be in trouble against Dariush. I'm going to go with Dariush. I think he gets it done.
All right, the king of Kenosha, Ben Rothwell, is back. He hasn't fought in nearly 3 years, dates to a 5-round unanimous decision loss against Junior Dos Santos. That was in a main event in Croatia, April of 2016. Rothwell plus 110 against Bogoy Ivanov, who's the minus 130 favorite. Evan, big fight here at heavyweight on the main card. Who do you like?
This one's a little tougher. Rothwell with the 3-year layoff, kind of just a little hard to make the decision. With that, I think I'm going to go with Ivanov. I think he's fought more recent. He's a pretty good counter striker, and I think Rothwell might try to charge in and go for it to make a big statement on his comeback, and I think Ivanov might just catch him.
Yeah, Ken Flo, a lot of bettors, sharp bettors, probably wouldn't be in a great rush to the window to bet on a guy who's staring at a 3+ year layoff or just under that, I guess. Ivanov coming off a unanimous decision loss to Junior Dos Santos as well. That was his UFC debut back in Idaho in July. Ivanov power, good chokes, Kenny. What do you think he has for Big Ben Rothwell?
I don't know. This is interesting because we haven't seen Rothwell in a long time. I wasn't so impressed with Ivanov. I think that he's a tough dude. There's no doubt about it. Has an excellent chin. Can be hard to take. I don't see him. Being such a threat like Ben Rothwell is. I think Rothwell hits harder. I think Rothwell is a little bit more dangerous with his submission skills. We haven't seen Rothwell in a while. I'm not sure what to expect. I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go with the underdog here, Rothwell.
And I will say Rothwell's the type of guy, he's very calculated like Robbie Lawler. He'll tell the UFC when he's ready, and when he is, he's put in a full training camp. So it'll be good to catch up with Rothwell during fight week, but I can see why you went in that direction. All right, Tim Means Business, minus 200, Nico Price plus 170. I like this matchmaking, Evan, here in the welterweight division. 2 just violent fighters and finishers. Which way you going, Tim Means or Nico Price?
I'm going to go with Nico Price. I like what I've seen from him. I know his last fight wasn't his best. I just think he's pretty interesting striker, and he's pretty good on the mat too, and I'm a fan of his, and I think he's going to get it done against Tim Means.
All right, so Evan likes Nico Price plus 170 the price. Ken Flo, 19th UFC stat here for Timmy Means Business, 10 UFC wins. Nico Price is a wild man. What do you think of this one?
This is a tricky one. Nico Price is very dangerous. And I think that as far as his power, he might hit a little harder than Tim Means. I think Tim Means is a more technical striker. But, man, I'll go with Means here. I think Means gets it done somewhere in the clinch. or he, gets it done by decision. I think Tim Means' experience also is a factor in this one here against Nico, but Nico's scary, but I'll go with Means.
And I will go with the under 2.5 rounds with Tim Means and Nico Price. All right, co-main event, one of 4 welterweight fights on the card all told. Close one according to Las Vegas, Evan. Eliseo Zaleski dos Santos minus 115, Curtis Millender minus 105. Who do you like in the co-main, Evan?
I like Millender. Zaleski's a fun fighter. He's got really awesome strikes from different angles that you don't really see often. But Millender's got a little bit of a reach advantage, and he's a pretty good kickboxer. And I think you could keep him keep Zaleski at a little bit of a distance and either catch him or just outpoint him in the fight.
See, I like this Evan Wasserman cat, right? You can tell he's done his homework, gives you a couple nuggets, and then he's in and out, 15 to 30 seconds. I mean, exactly what we're looking for. Kenny, Millender's won 9 fights in a row. He's 3-0 in the UFC. You know how I feel about Eliseo Zaleski dos Santos. Total animal, 6 UFC wins already, and 6 straight. He lost that split decision UFC debut to Nicholas Dalby, has been on fire since. This might be his toughest test, though, I think, with respect to some other guys that Dos Santos has fought. What do you think here about the co-main event? Eliseo Zaleski dos Santos, the slight favorite right now.
Very interesting fight. Curtis Millender is a guy who I know who trains with Raymond Daniels, who is a fantastic karate fighter and kickboxer in Orange County. And, I think who better than Raymond Daniels, one of the best strikers in the world, to train with, to get ready for an interesting style, an aggressive style like Eliseo Zaleski dos Santos. So, but I think for Millender, the only thing that kind of I think he needs to do more of is throw more combinations. And sometimes I think he looks to outpoint you more than kind of put together some devastating combinations, because it's not like he's not capable of doing that. He's absolutely capable of doing it. He has excellent size for the division, long legs, utilizes them very well, knows how to keep distance pretty well. But I think Dos Santos and his aggression and his ability to pressure you and look for those openings, I think he might be able to catch someone like a Curtis Millender, or at least get him tired late in the fight and get the win. I think Zaleski dos Santos gets the win here.
All right. And he is slightly favored to do just that. All right, main event, heavyweight division. The former champ, Junior Dos Santos, favored right now at a minus 240 clip against the Black Beast, Derrick Lewis, who comes back about plus 190 or so. Evan, need a round and a method of victory here for the headliner. Who do you think wins the main event in Wichita?
This is going to be a great one. I think these guys are just going to stand and throw in the middle of the octagon. That's been their style. Junior Dos Santos is pretty good. His boxing is probably one of the best as a heavyweight. Black Beast he's just a monster. And I think he can take a lot of punishments. We've seen in his fights, and all he needs is just one to drop him. And against Tai Tuivasa, JDS got caught once.
Right.
So I think Black Beast can stand the damage. I'm gonna go Black Beast, second round TKO.
Black Beast, round 2 TKO. All right, Evan Wasserman, good job, man. Thanks for coming on, and if you beat Kemflo, we'll have you back in the queue before the year's out, man. Great job.
Thank you for having me, guys. Have a great one.
Look at that guy, Evan Wasserman. Just clean,
beast,
fresh and clean. Beast. I mean, I don't know what he's going to do to top Jeremy Angwer, who got me 14 points. I mean, that's like a big chunk of my annual total turned in 1 week. Dude fucking hops on with the flow, goes 8-0. Absolutely incredible. Got every pretty much round and method of victory right. I think he had Johnny Bones by decision. No, he didn't. But he had, I think, Usman by decision. Okay. All right. So need a main event selection out of you. 19th UFC start for Dos Santos. Looked pretty good, obviously, in that stoppage of Tai Tuivasa in December. The recent title challenger, Derrick Lewis, not good for him against Daniel Cormier in November. Black Beast figures to be pretty motivated here for this main event. Who do you like in Wichita, and how do they get it done?
Very dangerous fight for both men. I think this might be one of the few fights that we see Junior Dos Santos try to hit some takedowns and put Derrick Lewis on his back, because sometimes the range at which very susceptible himself. And you do not want to get hit with a big shot from Derrick Lewis. So for Derrick Lewis, I think he has to be ready to try to defend takedowns. Believe it or not, yes, I think Junior Dos Santos may try to take down Derrick Lewis. But obviously Dos Santos has tremendous speed. I think he has the speed advantage against Derrick Lewis. I think Derrick Lewis probably has the power advantage, if I'm being honest, especially with the hands. So I think Dos Santos has more tools. He just has to fight very smart in this one. I think Dos Santos gets it done. Let's go with round 2. Let's go with TKO.
All right, Junior Dos Santos, round 2, technical knockout. We'll give you a point for the knockout too, of course, as well. All right, that is going to do it for this week. Pretty inspired episode today. Quick turn for us, though. Next Monday, we'll recap this Wichita show. We'll also break down what is just a killer main event coming up in 14 days, March 16th. The Gorilla versus Gamebred, Darren Till, Jorge Masvidal. With that, for TJ DeSantis, Ray Longo, Kenny Florian, John Anik saying so long for now. Thank you all for listening. We love you. We'll see you next Monday. Enjoy the fights. Don't text and drive. Yo fucking later.